Montanas Ratanapakdi is grieving for her father, an always gentle soul.
Happy birthday, dear Grandpa.
Her dad, Vichar, moved from Thailand to San Francisco to help his daughter and son-in-law, Eric, take care of their two sons. It wasn't long before the whole neighborhood fell in love with Grandpa.
Grandpa always friendly, all the neighbor. Grandpa always teaching us about forgiveness. All the neighbor remember him and he's smiling.
But this is the video no daughter wants to see. Surveillance cameras capturing the moment her 84-year-old dad was attacked and violently knocked to the ground on a morning walk.
It's a painful. I don't want to see it. It's a broken heart.
Yet another rise in hate crimes against a generalized ethnic group. The new targeted group is Asian Americans. Any specific subset of this continent? Well, according to the attacks, not really. This is the increased violence against Asian Americans and the power of rhetoric.
The newly sworn-in police chief in Oakland, California, revealing his plan in his first national TV interview to try to stop the growing attacks on Asian Americans in the Bay Area.
Other than disgust, my first gut reaction was just disappointment.
Eric Z is outraged after another attack on yet another Asian American in New York City.
She hit her head on the pole and knocked out.
Video posted to social media by the victim's daughter shows a 52-year-old woman being pushed to the ground on Roosevelt Avenue in Flushing, Queens, Tuesday.
She went to the hospital and got 5 to 10 stitches.
How is this still going on?
It's super disturbing and honestly disgusting.
A wave of violence against elderly Asian Americans putting communities across the country on edge. There have been more than 2,500 incidents of anti-Asian hate crimes reported between March and September of last year. That's according to a new study from New York's Asian American Bar Association.
The majority of those incidents, about 71%, were cases of verbal harassment, while shunning or avoidance made up about 21%. About 9% of those incidents involved physical assaults, and 6% included being purposefully coughed or spit on. Coughed or spit on during a pandemic. A report published last Wednesday by the Asian American Bar Association of New York noted that from January 1st to November 1st, 2020, the New York Police Department saw an 8-fold increase in reported anti-Asian hate crimes compared to the same period in 2019. The problem has been especially hard in states with large metropolitan markets such as California and New York. Which brings us to Vijay Ratanapakdi.
What did you say to him when you got to see him in the hospital?
Dad, wake up. I want him to stay alive and wake up and come and see me again. But he never wake up again, and I pray for him.
Now, although there isn't any concrete evidence saying this attack was racially motivated, the family believes strongly that it is. Vijay's own granddaughter, Kim, has received several intimidation tactics thrown at her since March of last year. And given the trend of recent attacks towards Asian Americans, it would unfortunately be right on par with the rest of the attacks. So, who or what do we owe the credit for this violence? Well, obviously, we've seen this sort of discrimination before. After 9/11, violence towards Muslim Americans skyrocketed as well. In March of last year, the world was shocked with the abrupt shutdown. Many people are out of work, experiencing homelessness, losing loved ones. It's hard on people, and the natural thing to do is to assign blame. So I wonder where we got the idea to place the blame on a particular ethnic group.
That name gets further and further away from China as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus. It's a disease, without question, has more names than any disease in history. I can name Kung Flu. I can name 19 different versions of names.
I was trying so hard not to talk about this man, I promise you. But there are things that just can't be ignored. The rhetoric has played a large part in the rise in violence and has only come to divide us more. There are no winners in this pandemic. We're all going through this together, and violence against the most general group of people will not be tolerated. There is no question at the end of this one. Doesn't really matter what you think about it. It will not be tolerated. Point blank, period. We're keeping this video short and sweet. Just stop.